use it as my ruler. If I can get it the right size, maybe. But thank you, Samson. I appreciate you. And now I won't be going, what was that I was trying to think of? I do that a lot. You know that. Well, have something in my mind and it just escapes me. I don't know. Old age, I guess. Trying to sneak up on me and give me a heart attack. Let's see. I wonder if I should. I have to account for the double walls too, so that might be an issue. But oh well. Just do it like this. If I find out it doesn't work right, then I know that I made it. Have you been to Dinah's plot before? I toured it a while back, but I don't remember if you were with me or not. Like I said, he's changed a few things. He's renovated a couple of areas. Like the used to be an observatory at the top area above the bar, and it's now like a VIP. At least that's what I call it. He didn't call it that, I did. Like a VIP bar section. Yeah, I thought you might have, but again, I'm kind of ditzy when it comes to memory. I do all to remember what I had for breakfast every morning, so it's not uncommon for me to be completely clueless. Just like he's working on I guess it's the bunker house. Adding in a ship down there, and he's adding in a little house, like a little con kind of thing off to one side. Got a lot of work to do on it, but okay, this is all right. Necessary, I could probably move that down a little bit. I think that'll work. So you got the sink area, and then you got the stalls back here. That should be all right. And then what I'll do is I will cheat and probably just I don't know, that might look a little weird. Let's see. Oh, super wide that is. That is pretty wide. Okay, pillars. What kind of pillars? Let's see, do I go with, probably just go with the 201 since we already used them up to the front. He might decide he'd prefer to use the casting one because it's better matched for the metal look. But I think we'll just stick with the... I just used the 201s because they were ones he already had. Figured, you know, better to use what he's got available. Yeah, he did. He's been tinkering around with it. I know yesterday he said he deleted like 100 items and you couldn't even tell. I don't know what he deleted, but like he's like I said, he's added in the house, which he really hasn't been able to decorate, or hadn't the last time I looked. But it's going to be interesting to see what all how he puts it together. Let's see, how big are these? Almost 2. That's like 2. Can't decide. Yeah, I took him to Bucky O'Hare's place. He's another one I've toured recently, to show him some of the spaceship builds that Bucky came up with, because I figure it would give him some inspiration, because he was trying to decide if he was putting too much guns on the stuff or not enough and that kind of thing. And I showed him that one and I said, maybe this will give you some ideas. And he was pretty stoked about that. The wrong tool there. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of folks are going to be doing that differently once the free-to-play goes live with all of the new stuff. I've seen some that's already been practicing on the PTR. And everything, but even now, if people can figure out ways to add those features in, it's really helpful. To kind of give it just an extra little zing. You know, sewers, you can do other kinds of sewers. I've seen some made it look like it's muddy, or I've even seen a few use like the witch's brew to make it look like it's, I don't know, like sloppy gunk down in there. But water used to be fun. And we did finally get, so far, one entry into the CBDC. Like I said, because we have several guildmates that are currently in the process of trying to get their plots finished for the Geeks of Nexus housing competition, I extended the CBDC for an extra month to give them plenty of time, because I know at least a couple that have been just focusing on their plot and not really wanting to do any side projects. So I went ahead and extended it and, whoops, try that again. But I did come across one so far that has finished their swimming pool. So hopefully we'll get a few more before this next month is up. I don't think I'm going to get away with leaving those bare. Maybe it doesn't bother him that the poster can be seen. I will discuss that with him if he feels like I need to go ahead and add. I'm just trying to get away with using as few pieces as possible, but still convey the same idea. Is that the French one? I don't know, it's like Barfur or Balafur or Balafay or something like that. If it's the same one I'm thinking of, yeah, I haven't been able to check it out either. I had a few drop by my place and my alt's place to kind of check it out up front and up close. But yeah, that one I haven't. Of course, they have until I think they have to have it set to public just for the judging period, which I guess starts September 4th because that's the deadline. I don't know. But we'll see. You know, if the judges can't get in to have a look, then, you know, that's their loss. Because, you know, it's clearly stated you got to have that open. But it's like when I do a guild challenge, I always say, at least for the voting period, please open your plots up to the public, because while it's probably very easy for guildmates to neighbor each other, still kind of troublesome because I think you have to be online with the person before they can accept the invite or something. I don't know if those can be sent offline or not. And it's just easier if you have it open for at least that little bit of time. I tell them, you know, if you want to close it back up afterwards, that's your business, but at least make it easier on your guildmates, because then it's not so bad. Okay, this last one, oops. That seems a little, size is a little. Okay, so for this last one, as I was going to say, we're going to set up with an open door. And we're going to pretend, let's see, that they all open from, you know, from this direction. That way I can get away with having at least one stall open so that people can see what it looks like inside, but not have all of these doors blocking the way. Remember, we're working with a really narrow space here. Super narrow. I'll be so sad if he comes in and goes, "This is nothing like what I was talking about." Probably good that I went ahead and stuck with the Chua pillars, because I think if I went with the Cassian ones with it all metal looking. I think it might be like, especially because of the lighting, it might be very visible. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll turn this one. Maybe turn it. A little more, maybe. I know. Ease it out there. Wow. Okay, that's part of it. Like totally not attached to the the thing there. See how much space there would be if I tried to have them all open. That would just not be a viable option. So I'm going to just kind of cheat and have the one open. It's like really confined space. It's like the smallest bathroom ever. So we'll have to make this work though. Okay, so first off, let's see. Let's double this up. Personally, I can't stand that. Oops. Whoa, 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 whoa. Try that again. There we go. It still kind of wonked it out, didn't it? Whoa, whoa, whoa. God, this thing's so sensitive. Sensitive decor. Okay, now that I've doubled it up, I still want to make sure that somebody, if they really were desperate to roleplay, that they've gone into the bathroom and still access it. And they can. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and what I'll probably do is go ahead and double these up and tell him that if he just really needs the items, then he can probably remove one side. But if I'm going to do that, I need to because that would just be kind of cruddy to do that and then tell him, well, you can change it, and then he removes it and the signs are upside down. Not like you can really read them either. There we go. Don't want to push these in any closer because if I do, then that gets even more non-spacey friendly. Like that. Maybe that'll work. A lot of little adjustments. You know, that's the fun part of trying to set up a build like this. Like, what? That doesn't work. Okay, so I've got this at 64.93, so I'm going to move all of these over. Maybe. There we go. I'm going to leave the door where it is, though. I'm just going to extend these out a bit. Okay, I'm double checking, making sure everything's still walkable. Yeah, seems okay. The fun part is going to be trying to make it the same on the other side. That's going to be the fun part, I think. Oh, that was fat fingers, I guess. Need my dialing wand. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. That is a reference to The Simpsons. Yes, I am a big Simpsons fan. Okay, so now I need to double this one up. In fact, I play Simpsons Tapped Out, if anybody knows what that is. One of those iPad, iPhone kind of application thingies, apps. And would you believe it? I build my own Simpsons town. That's probably why I like it so much. It's another way of me decorating stuff. Okay, so, wow, I can't see anything now. Let's see, that's, just checking the position of this one, because when I start turning these around, I want to make sure they're in the same spot. Remember, these were all upside down signs, so. And I've already forgotten the number. 6605, 6605. Here we go. Now, I'm curious, I haven't checked, which is naughty of me because normally I'm pretty good about checking on whether or not any of that's coming through the back here. And it is. Look at that. Damn on me. Wow, is that like this? Okay, let me check that again. Camera angle is really bad. Yeah, that's one of our favorites. Or I like the one where you get a visitor and he goes, "Oh, visitors, better put on some pants." That's hilarious. Oh gosh. But yeah, my husband and I both play that. It's one of those goofy things. It's a time waster, you know. It's um, one of those things you play just when you got a few minutes. We currently got an event going on where we're building the monorail, and can't really see anything. Okay, so I got to turn this one around. Anyway, the events are kind of fun, but you feel like you gotta constantly be tapping on that thing, and of course the game itself says it's life-ruiningly fun because you know they're well aware that folks kind of get addicted to it. But you know, it reminds me of the issue about folks talking about free to play for WildStar and how it's going to affect where you've got freebie players, freemium players, or premium players, the ones that are actually paying out cash. And it reminds me a lot of the arguments and fussiness that goes on in the Simpsons forums, because in that game as well, you have what we call premium players and freemium players. I'm a freemium. But just like with the Omnibits and WildStar that you will be able to collect and be able to spend at the store, the same is true for the donuts that you can earn in Simpsons. And I see a lot of correlation between the two games, and it's just kind of funny because when certain events happen and they make premium items available to us freemium players at no cost, like we get it as a reward or something for completing a certain line of quests. Oh, the premium players get so fussy, and I can just imagine it's going to be the same way with WildStar. People getting kind of cranky because they feel like those items should be exclusive to those that are willing to pay money and blah 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 blah. But it's just interesting. See how it works. Like my guild, I'm not even sure if we're going to be, if and when we'll be opening our doors again to potential members. And if we are, if there's going to be any extra rules as to, do they have to be subscription players, you know, or because a lot of, I think the worry for guilds when the free-to-play hits is whether or not a new member, not necessarily loyalty, but that's kind of part of it, is if they're in it for the long haul, if they're willing to stick around. And, you know, maybe not necessarily to the guild, but, you know, to the game at least. If someone feels invested in the game, then they're not going to want to just hop in and hop out, you know. But I think when free-to-play comes into it, I think guilds will be a lot more nervous about the possibility of their members just kind of skipping off without, you know, and that's pretty tough for, like, if you're trying to get a raiding team going, or you have a raiding team set up, and then all of a sudden, you know, the next new shiny comes around and they're all off that way. So it's going to be interesting to see how the guilds handle that, if they're going to include extra criteria, you know. If they do make it, well, you have to be subscription to be able to apply. How does that affect current members? You know, I know for a fact some of our members in the guild that we currently have, some are going to stick with subscription or signature status, myself included, but there will be those that just due to financial things that, you know, if they can go free, they're going to go free, and there's really nothing wrong with that. They've already proven themselves to be, you know, a reliable member. They're sticking around. They've, you know, been here with us for months and months, and just because the game goes free to play doesn't mean they're suddenly going to disappear. But for these newer players that come in, we don't have that same assurance off the bat because, you know, they're already free and they just might not feel as attached to the game as we are. So, yeah, exactly. I'm not going to put it in those words, but yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I mean, it's like I said, it's an investment. If you're already paying money for a game, for a subscription or whatever, then you're going to be a little bit more. The best way is attached. You're going to put time in on your character to gear it up, and, you know, if you're a collector, then you're going to collect stuff and everything. But if it's just a freemium game, it'll be more like The Simpsons. You'll play it, you know, occasionally or less attentively, and I think that's a concern for some guilds about that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to see about is, let's see, I think I'm going to go ahead and remove this one for now. I'm going to leave it there, and if he wants it covered up, then I will do that, but I'll keep them open for now. Is adding the handles. Probably the easiest one for that is well, it's either the hammer or the chuoko. Which do you think? Which would you recommend, hammer or chuoko? Like a Jeopardy question. Not that you're going to win a prize or anything, but does he even have any of those available? He's got a hammer. Let's see, I think that's called a tiny blue crystal. You think the hammer is better? Okay, well, he's already got a hammer, so we'll go with the hammer. As suggested. Okay, what looks better? I think I'll leave these as push open doors. We won't have handles for them, but we will have handles for the stalls. And those some big old stalls. Let's see, I guess it makes more sense to have the hammerhead up above. And maybe in like so. That's really big handle. Let's put it at 0.5. Maybe that's good enough. Yeah, that was pretty bad. We've got a guildmate that they're really into puns, and like when we go raiding or something and we're like at the egg boss, it's like every other word is excellent and exciting, and it's just, it gets really cheesy. Let's just do it like that. I think that'll be all right. It's a little high for the Orin, but for the other races, I think it'll be okay. So we'll clone these. And again, you're going to have to either do some kind of way of measuring or just kind of eyeball it. It looks like it's a little more this way. Again. And then one more time, maybe two more. Oh, that was weird. This one we have to do a little bit different. Turn it. I don't know the angle of the door, so I'm just kind of guessing what looks okay. I will probably check that here shortly. Let's see. Where are we at? What was that? 153. That's what I get for not using like specific numbers. Oh, I was so close. Ah, that's pretty good. Okay, and there's more showing, so that needs to come out a little bit. I'm looking at like the, yeah, there's more of that little bump showing, so a little more. There we go. Now I can't really see the other side unless you're really playing with the angles there, so I'm gonna leave it off. If he decides it needs to be added on, I'll add it on, but I think off. I haven't even checked to see if he's got toilet. Oops, might help if I spell it right. Got toilet paper roll. That is something we'll definitely need to get. Now, is it called the flush? It does have a few of these. I don't know if I really want to use them. I can't stand these things, but he has them, so obviously he's going to want to use them. Wow. Try and fix that up. 0. Now remember, the walls are pretty thin, so I can't sink this in like you would expect. I'm pretty sure that's probably poking out quite a bit on the other side. So maybe it would be better if I turned it this way. Kind of a weird way of setting up the stalls. Having the door on the side. But it would, you know, work for the space. Well, stay there. Really hard to see it on this. That's quite tall as well. Granok might have trouble sitting on that. But I'm going to leave it that size. He can adjust it later himself. No, my kind of thing is just to kind of give them the basics of how it could be set up, and then they can work with it. Let's see, I guess we need to put in a toilet paper. Try that again. This way. Let's see if we can stick it on the toilet paper roll thingy. It's one good thing about these Plush-O-Matics. They do come with their own little toilet paper holder. Just have to get it on there right. What a question. I don't know, I guess. I don't know. That's pretty disgusting, Samson. I'm not even going to repeat that. Okay, so that's one little toilet stall complete. Like I said, I'll work on crafting up some extra sinks, and we'll get those sorted. Again, if you see me do the reload UI, that's just kind of every now and then it feels like there's like a bit of a lag jump. Probably will install some windows. I don't know if he has any on hand. Well, I don't think those will work good, but the long barred ones would probably be alright. Ugh. Interesting music choice he's made for his plot. Wow, how did I get that upside down? Oh, that's alright. we'll go with it. I don't think that'll work. And my big concern is that sticking out this wall here. Again, I don't know what all he's got going on in these other areas of his. I may have to do some renovating as I discover, okay, that doesn't work. Or he tells me, hey, that's poking out weird, you're gonna have to fix that. I don't really think the guys use the mirrors as much. I don't know, maybe they do. Hey, did that come in? I don't know if that offset or not. Let's see. No. Looks like we can fit in 3, so I may not need as many sinks as I thought. Oh, for crying out loud. Icky. Yeah, that looks all right. So I think we'll just do the 3. That means we need 5 instead of 7. We'll use a tiny Chua cup here for the trash bin. I could try and make a well, let's see if I can do that just to get goofy. If he says that he'd rather just the cup, then I can always change it back, but see. I don't think he has any other domes. Let's do a granite one. Back up. I like this part of the track that he's got on here. I mean, I like all of the WildStar music. It's one of the only games that I have kept the music actually on. You know, on World of Warcraft, they have it all muted. Handy that he has some of these. Again, he didn't mention about if there's any particular uses he has in mind for these, so I'm just kind of using what's around, he may decide to say, hey, I have other plans for those pieces. You know, touchy. Okay, where did that go? There might be another piece in there. Yeah, I agree, Samson. I think the music is pretty fantastic. I mean, true enough, if you listen to the same track, like I had the Protostar one on my plot a few times, and it can get kind of, you know, overpowering at times, but generally speaking, like I said, it's one of the few games that I've left alone as far as letting the music stay. Let's see, I think we need the half one instead of the whole curves instead of the half. That makes sense. Curved wall granite. Yeah, that'll work better for my master plan. Okay. And probably put it like so. And I'm gonna reduce it just by a smidge so that doesn't have that flickering effect. Oh, no. Yeah, it's whoops. I particularly like the ones that kind of remind me of Firefly, because that's a series I really enjoyed. So having the game kind of remind me of that has been nice. Okay, now we need to throw some trash in there. Does he have any trash? He's got some. Let's yeah, I actually think there's an actual Firefly online game, but I think it's text-based. I'm not sure. Or it's one of those kind of like forum-based kind of things. Now I'm kind of going with the idea that, you know, there's junk strewn outside the bucket, so kind of that idea. one beer can. Probably too big, but let's just lay that down. Just to kind of give some idea that there's trash in here. So people know that that's supposed to be a trash can. If you wanted, you could probably really pile it in and have it like on full. Which in reality, we probably should do that for the guy's side. The girl's side is probably not, in my opinion. Let's see, what could we use to kind of pile that in there? I don't know what he's got. Gonna lay a banana down there. Got any cardboard? Oops, not card. Yeah, it's got a few. We'll use some of those to kind of fill in the space. The only trick is making sure nothing's poking out the sides. Always the thing for stuff like this. Here's the angle of this. And why anyone would bring food in here, I don't know. Okay, so mostly it's just the sinks left to do for here, and let's see, we'll go ahead and add some benches, I guess. Why you would want to come and sit in a bathroom, I don't know. But maybe you're waiting in line or something. He has any bench. Got quite a few of those. Let's go with those. Let's put in a couple. Again, if he decides he would rather else, but I think we'll go with it always seems so big to me. I'm sure that's more to do with my character size than anything else, but looks Get off of there. Again, it's kind of awkward because of where all these lines are showing up. It makes it look like the room isn't kind of tidy because it doesn't look straight and stuff, but it's just the way the floor lines ended up lining up. For others, that might be kind of irksome, but maybe I should put the trash can in the center here. Should I? Shouldn't I? I hate to move it now that I've fiddled with it so much, but I may end up doing that later. Or I could add some kind of a table or a goofy plant. Does he have any plants? Let's just, he's got several of these. Just put one. I don't think the guys really care about the plants, but we're going to put one in anyway. There we go. So everything looks still pretty movable. You know, you can get into the one. Got the idea that there's extras. Maybe they're occupied. Occupado. Not sure about the height of the counter here. Up and down a little bit. So I can still reach it, and then the others don't have to bend over. Benches look okay. Okay, so I think I'm happy with how that turned out. I think we're going to call it good for today, but oops, that did kind of pop in there. We'll get started on the girls' side probably tomorrow. I don't have any other plans, I don't think. But we'll see if he's happy with it. If not, there's plenty of changes I can do. Fix it up differently if he says no, that's not anything like it. But for now, we're going to call it good. Hopefully, you have enjoyed taking this little peek into the mini project, the public restroom. Hey, Arathor. Yeah, I hear a lot of people talk about that. They just don't have the patience for it. And it does take a good amount, especially when you encounter little quirky bugs and issues that, things are sticking out in the wall that shouldn't be, and then you got to readjust, and then that means you got to adjust something else, and it can get pretty frustrating. But if you just kind of allow for that or expect it going in, then it goes a lot easier. If you're expecting to just kind of slap some stuff together and have it work out overnight, that's not really gonna be the case in most instances. It's gonna be a lot of time. Like I often say, housing for me is a marathon and not a sprint. If you're looking for something quick and instant, this isn't the way to go about it. The only way you'll get that is if you go strictly fab kits and things like that. Those are more like instant gratification. In fact, I've seen people on the forums asking for like pre not just prefab homes, but pre-decorated prefab homes, because they don't want to fuss with decorating it themselves. And while I can understand that there are people that don't have the time or feel like they don't have the talent, really, it's not a matter of talent. It's just, a matter of practice. Because looking at some of the things that I built when I first started messing around in housing, it's embarrassing to look at now because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's like the awfulest looking stuff. But at the time, it was like, this is awesome. This is like the bomb. And it's the same with everybody else. You just got to get started. And I tell like my guildmates and stuff, and anybody else that thinks they're interested in getting into it, start small. Maybe have everything else is kind of nothing, no thought going into it except you want a desk here, a bed here, a table there. And then pick one little area of your house, whether it's the bed, the kitchen, uh, a little tool shed. Maybe you're gonna make a little personal computer, something. Just a little tiny project, small as you feel like you need to go, and customize that. And I promise, once you start getting the hang of looking at items in a different way, it becomes almost an addiction. You just kind of, almost refuse to use things just as they come because, while it's easy to plop down the benches, it doesn't mean that I couldn't fashion some for him. The reason I'm going with a lot of pre-built stuff in some respects is because, again, I'm conscious of the decor count. He's, already pretty close to the 1,000 mark, and he's got tons that he still needs to work on. I assume he's anticipating once the free-to-play goes, he'll be able to increase the decor count and not have to have that cumbersome limit, but it can still, be a worrisome thing if you're using too much pieces for one thing. So that's why I like doing the CBDC stuff, because then I have that entire plot, like 1,000, just to play around with, and I just go nuts with it, because where you get the fish that has the scales of like 400 count. In a typical build, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't go to that extreme. Yeah, well, the garrisons are different anyways. I don't really think they're comparable. It's like matching apples to oranges, in my opinion. Even though a lot of people do try to compare the two systems. I think housing in WildStar is more comparable to those systems like a Rift with their dimensions. Um, I haven't actually personally messed with a Rift dimension, but I have seen lots of videos and showcases and stuff of those houses, and that's the closest I can think of that I've seen. There may be other systems out there, but yeah, and it's like when I do the housing tours on Wednesday, I don't always go for the full-blown, full plot builds, because while those are incredible, you can still impress your visitors if you have just little details that you've added in here and there. It doesn't have to be complete. So I try to showcase a little bit of both. Because while we do have those that are super talented and are able to kind of take you to another place with their plot, there are still those that can nicely decorate and do a lot of custom touches, but yet they keep it simple and not as crazy as the others. But it's still nice, and it's still worth a look because it can inspire you for pieces of your own. Yeah, well, I don't really consider garrisons a housing kind of system. It's more like a quest hub, in my opinion. You get a lot of quests there, and that's another thing a lot of people was wanting for WildStar. How they want that same kind of functionality, I think, to introduce new quests and things like that. But I don't know. We already have a lot of quest hubs, and I don't think it really needs that. Not to say if they added it, I would be like, go mad and threaten to leave. It's just, I don't think it's a direction I would go with. Samson, you're so silly. But yeah, it's like, there are some things that I think the garrison's kind of fun. Like if you can like actually work towards special monuments that you can place. But the thing is, it's not like you can place them wherever you want. There's only specific designated areas that the monuments go. But like say you do X amount of pet battles and you can earn yourself a monument for that. I think the same concept would work nicely in WildStar, but then we have the freedom to put it wherever we feel like putting it, sizing it down and things like that. Yeah, it's customized very on a very limited basis. I think for mine, I play a gnome, so I changed the garrison guards to be all little gnomes. So we got like little midget people walking around. But it's more to where like you go to someone else's garrison and basically the same thing, because by now everybody's got, the top level garrison. Yeah, they might have a trading post where I have barracks or something, but still essentially it's too cookie cutter for me. I would prefer to have more control over the look of it. They don't even have, when you have the Alliance version, it's just, it looks like Stormwind stuff. You don't have the different race kind of influences on the structures itself. At least here we do have some of that, not as much as I think a lot of people would like, because we still don't have the Mordish housing, we still don't have the uh, Makari, but I'm sure it's coming down the road sometime, maybe. But yeah, it's housing for me is my end game. So as long as they keep adding to it and not restricting it completely to cash shop kind of um, stuff, then I will be happy. Because even with the limits that we have now, there's like so much freedom. I think it's funny when I hear people complaining about, well, you know, we need this and it's got to be this. Like, well, yeah, but I remember the days when we had a limit of 300 decor. I think those that have been playing long since then, way past that and don't remember that or didn't experience it, they're like so fussy about the 1,000 decor limit. And I'm thinking, wow, I remember back in my day when it was a third of that and we managed. So yeah, just one of those things. You give a little bit and they want, twice as much. And it will always be that way. I don't see Carbine giving us like unlimited. It would be nice, but I don't think that'll be a. I think there will always be some sort of a cap involved. Just down to basic system management and everything. But yeah, anyway, so that's our current little mini project is Dinah's public restroom for his red herring plot. Again, keeping in mind the decor count is already pretty tight. Hopefully I have enough to kind of finish fleshing out the restroom, and then he can decide, well, that's just not going to work for me because now I can't do anything else anywhere else. Because like I said, he's got a lot of stuff he's still adding. a lot of empty space that he's got to fill up with decor. But it may just be that he's anticipating the free-to-play transition to allow for extra space. So hopefully I haven't overdone it in just a little bit that I've done, but we'll see. But we'll probably finish that up tomorrow and call it good and see what he thinks. I like looking at some of the stuff. Got this weird, like this little mini keyboard. I think that's new, in fact. Anyway, I appreciate you joining in and following along as I fiddle around on other people's plots. Like I said, it's kind of a thing I've opened up to my guildmates, offering my, I wouldn't say expertise, but my time when they might not be, might be short on time, offering to help them build little things. I told them I didn't really want to do like a full-blown plot build. I just want to do a little bit, like if they got a farm and they're not quite sure how to do a barn, then I'll try and build a barn for them, or like the bathroom, or like the gazebo I did for Ed's plot. Uh, yeah, the item cap is going to be different. I think the freemium players will be capped at 1,000, and and that's if I'm understanding it right, that would be 500 in, 500 out, and the signature players, or those that have like through cred or whatever, those will have the 2,000, 1,000 in, 1,000 out. So if you're a subscriber now and then the free-to-play transition happens and you continue to subscribe, you shouldn't have any changes as far as that goes. But there are going to be purchasable upgrades. I think it's 500 the core count increase per however much in coin it just ends up being, so that you get like an extra 250 in, 250 out, and you can upgrade it up to, I think it's 5,000 total. It's obviously they're going to want to incentivize people to spend money or to subscribe, whatever. But it's not like they're completely cutting it off. It's just you're going to be limited. But like I said, there was a time where we were stuck at 300. So even the freemium players will have a considerable advantage to those that started off in the very beginning. You're going to have about triple what we had to start with. So I can tell you now, even at 1,000 cap, that's luxury compared to what it could have been. I know a lot of people will feel like it's unfair, but like I said, they have to have certain bits that they want to incentivize people to upgrade their plots. Because in the end, no business is out there to just stay in no profit. They've got to have some kind of income coming in, because that's what's going to fund more content, things like that. But I guarantee, even 1,000, even at 1,000, that's more than enough to create a nice home, even custom. I've done it in the past with far less, so it's doable. Nothing to be fussy about. Even though I know people will fuss. That's just the nature of. But anyway, like I said, I've opened this kind of little idea up to my guild and said, if you have a small project that you would like me to work on, we'll work out some kind of arrangement, and I will stream those little projects as they come. So it's going to be a once in a blue moon kind of thing, I suspect, unless there's really a lot of people that's got a lot of stuff they want built, which I don't really think that's going to be the case, because a lot of my guild is already pretty heavy into building on their own. Dinah, in fact, is been avidly working on this plot, and it's not that he doesn't have the talent for it, he just didn't have the inspiration as to what he could do for a public restroom. So I'm giving him my rendition of it, and then he can do with it what he wants. He can completely clear it out and do his own, you know, based off of some ideas that I've given him. That's up to him. But for now, we're going to entertain ourselves with finishing up his bathroom, and then if another project comes along, hooray. If not, we will work on another project that I already have in mind. It was to be a CBDC theme for next month, but since this month is going to be carried over to next month, kind of moot now. So while my guildmates will continue working on their swimming pools, I will be probably starting up some kind of a classroom thing, because I figured with September, you know, a lot of schools and stuff are starting to reopen again. In fact, my son will be going into his school in the next week or so. So I thought a back to school kind of theme would be good, so classroom makes sense. So we'll see if I can come up with something for that. So if I'm not working on one of these little projects, it'll probably be that. Because I'm steering clear of my mains plot until after the free-to-play, I think. I say that and I'll probably change my mind, but for now I'm going to leave it as is, I think. If I do change it up, I really don't. Let's just say for now we're going to leave it be. But if that changes, I'll mention it. So be sure and check back tomorrow. We'll go to finish up the other half of the restroom downstairs. I don't know if he's noticed that sticks out. I guess so, because it's sticking out on the edge. Anyway, getting off track there. Wednesday will be exile tours this week. I have 4 or 5 homes for sure that I hope to visit. I've got about 4 in backup in case those aren't possible. So we've got a long list, lots to choose from. We've got a couple of Orin type-ish bits, and one that more related to summer. I think it's some really nice things. So hopefully if you're into looking at what other people are up to building on their plots, and you want a close look, especially if you're not able to access Jabbit EU realms or either of the factions, to say you're Dominion only and you want to see what's going on Exile side, be sure to drop by Wednesday, 1 p.m. CEST time. I do that every week. We alternate between the factions, so to try and give everybody a little bit of showcasing. But this week's Exile's turn, so definitely join in for that. And then the rest of the week it'll be back to the little side projects and things. So yeah, thanks for joining in. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. It's a Monday. It's, you know, not the best day of the week, but hopefully you make it through. Until then, I wish you guys a good day, and see you later. Bye-bye.